The speed.
Yep. They see him. Can they catch him though? They're gonna be able to get him with the with the Shivas, but not able to hit him with the hook. And Sunlight is taking a fair bit of damage from those spiderlings. They do manage to clean him up though, but now there might be another fight. The Warden did get hit up momentarily. His tombstone's cleaned up quickly. They're looking to move. What can they catch? Flea is the sort of straggler here, and he is going to get slowed up. Cookies himself to try and make it out, and the defensive hook, I mean, it pulls him away, but it doesn't disjoint the projectile. Flea's going to get taken down, and now Sunlight's in some trouble. He's able to pop that Shivas again and fall back, though, and now Ark and Nico make their way forward. But the root is going to be there. The silence is in as well. They're just burning through them. Nico just has to try and get away, but he's not going to make it. DNM just took a rather sizable uptick in his damage output there. 3,500 dealt in that fight, and well, if you get multi-shot off in its entirety with the upgraded frost arrows from the shard, you do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and it's just oddly, they decide to fight with so many heroes close to finishing up BKBs. They just force themselves into an engagement where they simply lose. They pretty much all in to make sure they got that Ember Spirit kill, so he couldn't just walk that one out. But in doing so, you trade everything, and 5RAT have another core. It's just, it feels like a call that really ends up costing them. And now DNM with an Aegis kind of has no business being in the opposing team's triangle. Should probably kick himself out of there after he cleans up the wave, but you're in a great spot if you're 5RAT. Not great enough to pester the high ground, albeit, but definitely feel secured. And now you can afford to just farm the map knowing that Roche is not going to be an objective that Cringe Crew can drag you back to face.
Some time to build up as... Oh, there we go. I was wondering where that had gone. The shard from Roshan had been held onto until kits respawned, so he's got himself some upgraded, or one of the two upgrades to Fire Remnant. And really, I mean, the other cores already had their shards, so I guess he was kind of the last man up in that instance, but they continue to just generally increase their power levels here on the 5RAT side, getting stronger and stronger, 11k net worth lead, but well, there's the BKB. The Nico has finished it off. Cringe Crew just about have all their abilities. 25 seconds for Doom, so I don't know. Do they try to force a fight into the Aegis ET, or is this a moment where they might want to try and dodge it out and maybe sacrifice space for time?
Yeah, I think space for time is probably going to be the call. It's where even Sunlight, he's looking for an Ags on the Doom, which is probably just a little bit of desperation because the Lincoln Spheres are getting built up by both the cores on 5RAT. It's where it's getting more and more difficult to start these engagements, as well as the realm of luxury now being, at least for the supports on 5RAT, the next objective. Got a Aether Lens on AB1. You're looking at items like Hex and Lincoln Sphere for Moose, who is still just incredibly farmed on this Mirana, becoming not a new core, but again, just having the items that the rest of the cores want. So giving you more and more of a buffer to play around with, just not having that same level of luxury on Cringe Crew. They're still kind of working with the scraps right now.
Well, don't think there's any real way to just forcibly inject any further money into the likes of the Snapfire and the Undying. They just don't really farm spectacularly, so they've got to try and win fights. That's the best way here, but that's obviously something that they haven't been able to do all that easily for quite some time now, and well, they might not have a choice. They might be forced into the fight anyway, because their base is under attack. The glyph is going to be popped here, so they're trying to slow this down as best as they can. The Mortimer Kisses are even coming in. That's going to clear out the creeps and the spiderlings. I don't know. I mean, that buys them time, but that's one of your ults expended, and really the siege is not broken just yet as Ark tries for the hook. Not going to hit, but they're just going to keep on poking. New wave comes in, and DNM will get some shots on.
Yeah, just no great way for Cringe Crew to really defend the high ground right now. They don't have the greatest wave clear. They don't really have the greatest reinitiation. And as soon as they blink in, they're pretty much caught. There is at least a Force Staff on the Wardens, so a tool to get the pudge out in worst case scenario. But really the best thing they got going for them is the random hook that Realm can throw into the mix and then hopefully overextend and make the Drow commit when she doesn't want to. But until then, 5RAT are just looking to play 80% of the map while Cringe crew are getting bottled up in the base. And the only real way for them to leave right now is to smoke and look for some Doom play. But even then, not really many item timings coming up. Realm doesn't really want to make a play until he has his BKB. He's only 200 gold away, but just feels like a struggle. He's hooking for creeps, but he's just not getting net worth nearly as quickly as he should.
Yeah, you take a look at the net worth on the left there, and he is struggling to stay ahead of the Mirana, so not the greatest of circumstances, but at least he's got the BKB, and will that be enough? Will they try for a fight? There's still about a minute and a half on this Aegis, so at this point, ET, realistically speaking, they've waited this long. They could just keep waiting, right, until that Aegis is gone entirely. If they were keeping track of the timer, they might try to push in just as it is expiring, see if you can catch DNM in some sort of positional mistake, but that just feels like it's going to be tough. He just finished off a Lincoln Spear that's on its way out to him right now, so hitting him up is going to be hard. Although I will say, the Ags is done, so if your Sunlight could maybe pop the Doom on yourself and then blink in, and then you don't have to worry quite as much about the Lincolns.
On Glyph Forest, they got in through that tier 3 bottom, so time to defend, but the smoke is going on too, and here we go.
There's a self-cast. They're going to make the jump. They're in onto Kits first. Can they take him down? Actually, between Kits and DNM, okay, they'll go for Kits. That does allow for the Drow to escape, but that's a huge kill for them to start the fight, and okay, Kits is going to buy back. He still had a Remnant. He's going to jump his way forward. Flea taken down right away. Ark in trouble, dropping down. He will fall. Sunlight as well. Triple kill for Kits, looking for the Ultra now. Onto the Warden, and there you go. Fight's done.
Yeah,
Just
and they call it.
in the blink of an eye, Kit says, you know what? How about I'm not dead, and we win the game? Not a bad plan.
Yeah, no, initially, it looks like the perfect jump. AB1 and Moose are just a little bit too far away. The Force Staff comes out late onto the Drow, so they get to focus everything onto the Ember. And then they put an Ob Sentry down, they hide in the trees.
To go to try and do it. Of course, Plant's going to go down safely. They're going to look to try and hold it off. Some shots being popped off, damage, but not too much. Well, there it is. Todd's good for one. Tico. Oh no, Christo. That's a shame. Mellow. That's a little bit mean. I'm not sure why you would need to do it like that to him. But I suppose the knife kill there gonna be extra money in the bank. As FURIA Academy hit 6 on the board. As we see the South American guesters back on the screen. Seemingly making an appearance ever so often. I wonder what they're talking about. Are they talking to each other? I would assume they're talking to each other. I don't have a co-caster, man. I'm just alone. Oh, man. Anyways, we get back into it. 10-6 on the board. Fusion. It's showing off. And unfortunately, in here, they've been reset on the pistols. Of course, FURIA Academy now looking to try and put 7, possibly 8 on the board. There was a bit of a force up here, but of course, there's going to be plenty of money for the next round buy out of Fusion. That's Plant in the previous round is going to help them quite nicely. But of course, it's swiftly taken out of their hands into this round. It's to be expected. We're looking at round 18 for that full buy. There it is. ZMB. They cleaned up cleanly. And it's 10-7 on the board now. Now, as we do see the full rifle round coming out of Fusion, will they be able to temper the defense of FURIA Academy? Or will FURIA start to roll and look at double digits in a quick moment? Now, of course, as it is all down into a fairly important rifle round. Oof, cause you're gonna get more than that there. That was very close. Still, as it does get traded 1-for-1, it's fairly advantageous for the CT side. Now, of course, as Naz is able to assault his way onto the site, crack open the B site completely, leaving Drop to start to rotate over. He's going to take a first engagement here. It's going to be dicey, and oh, Drop! Good for 2. Pulls out his knife. Bit of a mistake, though. Brings it down into a 2v2. Certainly, it's winnable. His teammates are not there to rotate and start the retake efficiently. We're looking at a lot of time being burned as this rotate comes through. They're making their way through Speedway. They look to make their way into a retake as well, and it seems like it's going to be coming out from that Coffin's position over in Church. We're going to be seeing one go through there, and it seems like the other going to maybe make their way past fire plots. He's going to go ahead and back all the way up. He's got the up. He'll look for that long range angle, but no one going to be showing himself. And unfortunately there, just so much time wasted there as they rotated over. It's going to cost them the round. And that will be 11 for the side of Fusion to bring themselves within 4 of series points, within 5 of playoffs. Now, as we do move forward, Fusion, they're looking for 12 here. But FURIA have themselves a competitive buy to work with. Uh-oh, Bruno, that is... Oh! I thought he was dead! I thought for sure he was about to lose his head, but Drop there to save his life as he deploys a smoke. That is incredibly lucky. Oh, I thought that was about to be over. I thought that was going to be the start of them cracking on to the B site, but to be completely wrong, Tico is left alone and eliminated as well. Very clean round out of FURIA to claim 8. This right here was super nice L drop. He had no right being able to save his teammate there. I thought for sure Bruno was going to die, but I suppose not. Now, of course, with the round underway and a bit of a Glock round here for Fusion, this should be a swift 9th for FURIA. Looking towards round 21 for the full buy. And ooh. Good shots. Drop Z and B there to clean it up. Very swiftly done. That's to be expected during that clock round. But now, as we look towards round 21 to come underway, it's the full rifle one. And this is where it's going to get hot once again. was EMB and Drop able to shut things down. That previous Fusion Esports momentum might be stagnating. Now, of course, some initial utility is popped down by Fusion. They start to gain a bit of room. Now, that's the round. Looks to really become swinging underway. Bomb's gonna be dropped to the bottom of Banana. Fusion are rather split. It seems like this is gonna be an A-side assault. Some initial pop shots being put down, but not much else to be gained. This burnout is there for 3, or 2 rather, and Drop's good for 2. Of course, Khan comes through, but drops him fairly quickly. Looking for one more to tie up the game. Of course. This is a bit of a deagle round here for Fusion. Could be able to find the deco. But, of course, these rifles in hands, it should be assured to go the way of FURIA. They want a tied game here and now, but the triple swing barely needs. We do see it put down into a 3v4, the advantage gain of Fusion. Tagged down ever so low. All below 50 HP. We'll start to see shots ringing out. Kun gonna be low and then eliminated. Leaving Naz and Giddymon in a desperate position to hold. And well, as Naz is eliminated as well. FURIA gonna tie things up, put it 11-11. As the defuse is looking to come through in just a moment's time. And there it is from Mello. Now at 11-11. FURIA. All tied up. Looking to possibly send us into their favor. Now, as it's 11-11, we're going to be seeing if the side of FURIA can start to bring things together. They're looking for 12, 13, 14. But we'll see if that's at all possible. As Fusion are on their full buy. And they're looking to try and bring it together. First shots ring out. Kun Giddymon starts to deny. We see a big shutout Mello, though, finding a nice shot onto the first to bring it down into a 3v3. Of course, the HE able to find out the other. He retreats back to Nubucks, looking to take the duel from there. Very nicely done. There's a shot. Tico. Be good to gain a frag, leaving it all down to Mello and ZMB, and now Fusion have the lead to go ahead. Get a plant over on the A site. Still, as shots ring out, Naz finds one. The rotator is eliminated. Just like that, Mello has to save. Of course, that brings Fusion to a 12th round. They retake the lead. Now looking for 13. Denying Fusion the lead into the matchup. Now,
Their mid laner on 5RAT, Cringe Crew just banned on off laners. And really, seeing the Centaur ban,
Yeah,
that's different. Very, very different.
I mean, listen, I know a patch just dropped today, but Centaur is still Centaur. I don't really know about that choice, but I don't know. Maybe Cringe Crew are familiar with something that Speed has been working on. Maybe realistically, actually, that's the only scenario I can think of, because other than that, I don't really see the need for the Centaur ban at any point in the current state of Dota.
Yeah, but prudent points. But yeah, really, the only ones I can think of would be coming in from your safe lane if you wanted to pick some just really incredibly weak ranged hero to lane him versus him. You would maybe want the Centaur ban.
Oh.
And then they go for the Dark Willow. Okay, a hero, very small change, but Brambles do more damage, 3 per level. So just maybe wanting to feel the effects a little bit here. Not the grandest hero when it comes to lockdown for the Ember. No immediate blink stun, as we keep saying, but certainly a hero that has its opportunities and its moments. Something that I don't like, though, and something that Cringe Crew have fallen into quite a few times now, is they are so countered by BKB right now. They're a team that as soon as the Ember looks for that item, it's just lights out for these 3 members of Cringe Crew. So in the next 2 picks, they better get some physical, they better get some pure. BKB piercing disables. If they don't, we're really going to have another problem on our hands.
And yeah, for Cringe Crew, in theory, you know, this isn't a bad idea. The Dark Willow's lockdown may not be instant, but I could see a scenario where you keep her as far back on the backline as possible, bait in some heroes, and then maybe hit them with the Terrorize to lead something off. But then, BT, as you mentioned, you're a BKB away from making that hero one step shy of useless. So the benefits might be there. It just feels incredibly risky, and I I don't know. If they were looking for damage dealing 4 heroes, I guess you don't have too many options. Honestly, the Mirana would have been the best one, but 5RAT took it right at the start of the draft. So working with what they can here. 5RAT, meanwhile, will get the AB1 Jakiro online. So it's kind of boring at that point. Crystal Maiden on one side, Jakiro on the other, but they're just really two of the best 5s in the game.
Yeah, part of me almost wishes that maybe we see a resurrection of... Oh, that's a quick pick. Okay.
Okay.
There's your physical. There's a hero that buys a BKB himself and then makes 5RAT look a little bit bad. But classic counter versus the Lifestealer, of course, you steal Lifestealer, get the rage, you rage out, don't have to worry about BKB, or you have a secondary BKB, which is incredibly valuable. AB1 gets to play Shakiro again. Enough said. But I think really solid stuff so far in the Morphling. Certainly will be able to do, again, very nice things for Cringe Crew. And really, if I'm 5RAT with our next 2 bans here, are we banning out more carries or are we going to ban out mids? Because I feel like Nico's going to have that same level of confidence to lane versus the Ember Spirit yet again here. I feel like he's completely happy into that matchup, in which case...
Still there, but after the way the last game went, I don't really know if Cringe Crew would want to go in that direction, so 5RAT may not need to ban it away. Instead, they do go for the Faceless Void ban, so yeah, fair enough. If Nico is going to be the damage, if it's all going to be concentrated on him, then someone like the Faceless Void, who may not hit as hard in the early stages but can set him up with a chrono, could be an issue.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, with their lineup right now, they do need a big stun. They'd love another stun to just throw into the works because, well, Tide's the biggest stun, but again, just very cooldown reliant. So being able to start fights casually is going to be something they definitely look for in their final hero here. And, you know, who knows? Maybe they do want to switch it up come the end of the draft, but finding a carry that's going to want to play versus Lifestealer is also kind of difficult. And of course, with Lifestealer and Ember cores, it really does kind of limit what you would want to play, because let's say you wanted to pick a hero like Sniper. Well, there's an Ember Spirit, you can't do that, but it would play perfectly versus the Lifestealer. Really, there's very few heroes that go up against both those cores stylistically, even though I feel like the easy call would probably be to look for another Illusion hero, but, well, there goes your Illusion hero. Honestly, one of the interesting picks would be maybe something like a Chaos Knight. Just, again, blink, stun, lead in, and there's the Doom at the end of the day here from Speed. And I still think that CK could be a pretty darn good option for them. Or if it's not the CK, I would love if they just say, okay, Realm, keep you on the kind of weird carries. Let's pick you Dawnbreaker right now. Let's do it. It'll lane good versus Doom. It gives our Morphling a little bit more save. And maybe it doesn't help us start or begin any fights any easier, but is a little bit weirder. And okay, they get Wraith. Whatever.
It's not as exciting a choice here, but, well, I mean, it's everything that they kind of need in theory, right? You've got some durability, some lockdown, some damage, and a hero with the reincarnation who won't just instantly get blown up. So, not the most exciting pick from where we're sitting, rather, obviously, but I think Cringe Crew, unless they wanted to go all in on some sort of risky Illusion hero like you were saying, this is probably the safest choice.
Yeah, and by no means is it bad. We've already seen the Wraith King get resurrected, you know, because of the Doom being popular and the 2 little buffs that he received on his own side. But, well, will Arc be able to win with it? Well, we'll see. Because versus Lifestealer, well, Lifestealer's the carry that will just keep on hitting you. The dog will never run away. He will hound you down. Where, now that I'm thinking about it, is there a Razor somewhere for Cringe Crew here? Maybe, but not going to think about it too hard. We're going to see if they're going to be satisfied with their lane. But yet again, we get to see this Nico Morphling play out, see if he has that same kind of on-fire laning stage that he had before, which wasn't too hampered on by moves. So maybe this time around, 5RAT throw the Ember a bone, because the Mirana had very little to do with that previous lane, and Kits got worked because of it.
Yeah. They might have to make that adjustment, and as you said, it wouldn't really be that out of the question, not that difficult. No. Well, not that difficult to make the decision. Actually pulling it off, you know, who knows, because Cringe Crew do get to have a bit of a say in that as the opposing team, but would not mind that rotation. And 5RAT have a lineup that has cores that can afford to not have their babysitters for a while, right? Lifestealer Doom can kind of just hold their own.
Definitely. Just the AFK strength hero, not really going to get forced out. Not going to be too worried, even though maybe the Tide is going to be a little bit more difficult for DNM to deal with, but I'm sure it'll be fine. But okay, final game of the night. Hopefully, Cringe Crew can put up a little bit more of a fight this time around, and maybe if 5RATs, I'll say go easy on them because especially Moose, he has been on fire all day. Even in the one game that they did drop, it felt like he's just not dropped the ball at all today.
And I did go to do some quick maths, taking a look at the scoreboard. Mentioned during the draft, oh, we're getting to the point where Cringe Crew can't afford to miss anymore. We are not getting to that point, ET. We're there. They have 5 games left to play, and they only have 1 win. There is 1 team with 7 points, and I think 3 teams now with 6. So if Cringe Crew don't win out, then they're eliminated. That really is it. If they don't win this game, then mathematically I do believe they're out of contention for a spot in Phase 3.
The highs are too high. Unfortunate. But at the end of the day, it's a tough pill to swallow. And of course, figuring out the roster as they've gone along here. But if you weren't meant to get to Phase 3, then you weren't meant. As this is the bait. Oh, they all walked up the high ground, but
Ark is getting
Ark's
stunned.
on the run.
They were able to get him with the arrow. Big plays out there. Speed finds the kill, and okay. That took a pretty substantial amount of time to develop, ET, but the patience pays off, and 5RAT have first blood going their way.
Nope. Easy play. AB1 just able to get back to safety, and the safety of 3 heroes up Cringe Crew's own ramp. I mean, 5RAT just snuck in there, really. Nobody was really ready on Cringe Crew. They didn't go up to their own high ground. Hopefully it's not the beginning of a trend here in Game 2, but gonna instead just go to the lanes now. Nice D word, but who's denying it?
DNM, looking at the quick buy, sure does want some blades of attack.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them. A lot of blades, a lot of attacking.
Yeah. No, this is not the most fun lane, even though if you can dodge brambles like that, maybe it's going to be a little bit more fun. But this is also an almost impossible lane for Flea. It's just incredibly difficult to trade versus the hero, and some weird aggro just happened, and now Flea's got kind of a problem on his hands. He can't actually tank these. He also can't turn around and really bramble. At least he's got the windlace to run this one out, but this is not fun. And Flea, he's not careful.
Hit.
Yeah. He's going to miss the creep wave now as well, so he still has a problem. He's got too many creeps, and he just has to dive it.
Well, at least he doesn't die. I guess there's...
Well, he will just die.
Very strange series of events there, but just gonna have to scramble to do the best that he can moving forward. In the meantime, let's take a look at the other side lane here, ET. You got Speed and Moose. They've got some damage that they can put together, but they really are dependent pretty much entirely on the arrow. And if you're Moose, do you want to try the arrow for a play you might not make, a kill you might not get, when he could just use it to grab creeps instead?
Yeah, that's pretty much the mentality that's going to go down here, even though right now they're 50-50 when it comes to experience. So Moose is definitely sapping a little bit more than previously seen. But as I said before in the previous series, this is the unlosable lane. I don't think there's really anything that Speed or Moose could do to really make them lose this one. There's just no way to really deny or stop them, even though, whoa, the reverse solo kill. Okay, Kits is coming into the lane a little bit hotter than game 1.
I mean, he doesn't even have, well, now he does, but he just put that point into the chains. He didn't have it for the kill, so he just kind of catches the morph a little off guard there, and They've got 2 kills in a row. It was very nearly 3 as, well, Flea was able to walk away from the top lane, but the 5RAT are looking to push into some of these engagements a little bit earlier on this time, and for the most part, they're all going pretty damn well.
Yeah, maybe Kits doesn't need moves if he's just going to pull that out, but that's also kind of the danger in these best of twos, and usually we see the ramifications more in those BO3s, but the more often you pick the same heroes, the more comfortable you get versus them, and Kits surely is feeling that right now.
He is playing pretty far up here against Nico. Not really showing a lot of respect to a guy that just kind of worked him over in the last game, but as he said, maybe Kits had his epiphany. Maybe he figured out, okay, I think I know how I'm going to approach this one this time, and, you know, not get your ass handed to you.
More in those BO3. Exactly what you want to see, because the sign lanes are a-okay. Everybody's just chilling, farming. They're doing exactly what they want. They're playing that 5RAT style where they're just getting their numbers. They're going to eventually peak up at that 2K gold lead, just pure virtue of having the Devour, and then it's going to be a matter of just not letting that lead ever go for 5RAT.
Nico, very dangerous game he's playing here. He's trying to shift, and he's going to be okay this time, but yeah, with the Searing Chains now in the picture, he has to be a little bit more careful. A little bit of damage to Kits as he passes by, but not enough for the kill. At the same time, down bot, well, Arc and the Warden, they're trying for a little bit of damage, but Arc is rapidly dropping, and yeah, Moose is going to turn around. They've got the leap charge. He's holding an arrow. Will he connect? No, he will not, but he's got the Starstorm now to follow it up. He may end up paying for this. Maybe not. Okay. The Warden does get him with the right click, but now speed comes in. Can he finish the job? No, he cannot, but that's still a 1-for-1 that 5RAT are going to be very happy with.
Yeah, pays for his life by not hitting the arrow, but is not the worst case scenario, honestly. And honestly, for the Wraith King, he's not too upset either. He doesn't miss any of these creeps, just gets the farm underneath his tower now. Just keep and farm.
Timing works out, yeah, pretty well for the Wraith King to not miss out on too much, so a little bit of good news for him. At the same time, up top, Sunlight, he is starting to get a little bit bullied, but that's precisely why they put the Tidehunter in this lane. You can annoy him, you can push him back under his tower, but killing Sunlight this early, that's not really all that feasible, unless he makes a pretty sizable mistake.
And here we go, support rotation, 6-minute rune, fighting for it. Okay, Nico.
Okay. Oh, boy. Arrow? No, off the mark, but Flea did get hit up by the slow. His TP now canceled by the Ice Path, so when he comes out of the Shadow Realm, he's just still right in front of 2 heroes. They'll hit him up with the chains. Gets the kill, and that Curse Crown will stun him, but no, it won't. He pops the Illusion Rune.
Yeah,
Not even give him
not?
a chance.
Just do it. Who cares? Very happy with the way that this game is going so far, and previously, I guess Nico's TP had gotten broken before, so he's got the long walk back to the mid lane. Complete role reversal. Kits is so far ahead now of the Morphling. Again, really all kind of by himself for the most part. He's just done great stuff so far. And now it's just going to be a matter of whether or not maybe he can make the Wraith King feel his presence too. Because you want to take this lead and now exert that pressure everywhere else. Even though DNM says, you know, hold my beer. I'm just going to hit this Tidehunter, keep him on 100 HP. Maybe a little gift for the Ember if he ever feels the need to come up top and just slide him to death. Even though I think they're going to go for it anyway. Oh, Sunlight.
Down bot, they're actually trying to set up onto Arc. They hit him with the Doom. Is that going to be enough damage? I don't know. The DOT is still going. Nico's TP'd in.
He's dead.
He didn't deny. Nico? Just took his eye off the ball there for a second, and well, at first it was just a support trade down bot. That wasn't looking too bad, but Arc dies again, and then Sunlight falls up top. It's starting to look a little bit concerning, ET. 5RAT, 8 kills on the board in just shy of 8 minutes, 2K lead. And I'm still just kind of in awe of Kits right now. I mean, he literally just decided, I'm going to win my lane this time, and he's doing it. And Nico, that's a good response. Mid lane, not what you want anymore. Rotate elsewhere. They get onto speed. A Doom who did not have his Doom available anymore, so They find some sort of return pick, but now there's other problems. Flea is getting hit up here near the middle lane. Ark is going to try to help him, and, well, Flea is actually going to survive. He will live, but oh my god, Moose. Catches Nico out. Was he on max agi? Of course he was. That's really the only way he dies there. 380 health is not enough to survive.
Yeah, but also just pings out as if he knows where the ward is, but just getting clipped by an arrow in the nighttime, just very hard to react to that. And of course, nobody expects Moose to be so high level, and he found the warden. No way.
Oh, but now he doesn't have mana.
Oh.
Whoops.
Okay, maybe a slight miscalculation, you know, cool from Moose, but yeah, doesn't get the kill onto the CM, but still, you can see the lanes are vacant right now. 5RAT have just forced really everything towards mid, and Nico's Tower's dead. The map will start to open up, and now they go back for the side lanes, and there really isn't going to be too many ways for Cringe Crew to respond here. Speed looking for a solo kill on the Dark Willow. A very impossible solo kill, but still, it's just pressure.
And the fact that Flea is the only person in this bottom lane really kind of tells you a bit about the state of the game right now. This is an area they would love to have one of the cores farming in, but they just really can't afford to. Sunlight, I don't really know if they can do this. TNM starting to get the feeling that the reinforcements are coming. He is going to bail out. That means AB1 gets left behind. And Ark is going to take him down for his first kill of the game. And yeah, I mean, they got Sunlight once, but that was effectively a 3v1 when they got that pick off.
Yeah, just a little bit too deep, and now Sunlight can probably look for a Ravage play if he really wants to. Needs some mana, though, before he can really think about anything next. But look, bottom. Doom landed. Speed went for the solo kill yet again here, but the support is coming, and Speed, you just have a Midas. You are not that tanky. Toggling in between Scorched Earths, but oh, it's still so far.
The Warden's got to ult, but it's not enough. Speed, there's no way he gets out. Yeah, Nico's coming in with the haste rune. They're going to be able to find the kill, and now they want more. Pushing their way forward. Stun onto AB1. Nico's just going to go for the Mirana instead, though. Trying to track into the tree line, but they're losing vision pretty rapidly. Kits has now arrived in Ark. You already used your ult previously in this fight. He will just sort of lay out for the AB1 kill, but now he goes down, and at the end of the day, you get some money into your core's hands. That's going to be the most important aspect, but they dove pretty far for kills that didn't have the highest value there.
Yeah, it just feels like they could have settled really easy there, and then maybe Ark's just able to walk out, but as soon as the Ember sees the mistake, he punishes you for making the mistake. Just very easy gold for Kits. He's just continuing to make money and be happy. And sure, that does bring attention away from Sunlight, but Sunlight wants to probably be the aggressor now. Seeing this Tidehunter use his Ravage is one of the plays that Cringe Crew haven't really gotten to go for just yet. He still needs to kind of fix his mana issue, but at the very least, he's getting to focus on himself, make himself as strong as humanly possible, and then hopefully hold on to some of these towers when 5RAT eventually come back down there. But now Flea, well, as long as there is a spell to break his TP, they're going to save one, and yeah, they just use it. He is TPing now, though, but the burn.
It's just able to find the kill. They'll get the tower now as well. More momentum for 5RAT building up, and this bottom lane was already a place that Cringe Crew had effectively abandoned, right? Flea was the only person down here for a while, and now it's even worse because it's not just the bottom lane that's suddenly a no-fly zone, but the Southside jungle is going to start turning into enemy territory pretty quickly, but they are trying to make some sort of response here in the top lane. The Infest comes out almost immediately, and the DNM is just going to walk his way out of this one.
Yeah, just gets to chill in the creep, you know, he's even poking. Ark's mad, he stuns the creep, you know, he just hates the idea that the Lifestealer is just sitting there, but they don't want to give up this tower, and with heroes smoking in, coming up top, that's why Cringe Crew smoke, and Cringe Crew are all here. This is 5 heroes on my screen that I'm staring at right now. They are hoping that they find a fight, or they can even try to get DNM from the tree line here, but guys, he's got rage, he can react to you, it's daytime. And now
Shadow's
collapse
gonna
is
get him
coming.
in.
Watch the sentry coverage. full coverage, and oh no, Kit's found the supports.
Yeah, there's the freezing field taken away immediately. The Ravage comes through, but DNM doesn't care. Pushes in, finishes the job on the Warden, and now they're in some serious trouble. The Ember Spirit looking to push in, doing some damage. Doom's been applied to Nico as well, so he has basically nothing to fight with here. He's just stuck in the middle. They'll take him down. 2 cores dead, looking for a third. His Arc has no choice but to try and hold his ground, but he's got 10 seconds left for that reincarnation. I think Flea may have to sacrifice himself to keep his teammate alive. It's a worthy sacrifice, but it's still a lost fight. No kills going Cringe Crew's way, 4 dead.
Yeah, 4 for nil. Just the worst way that smoke could have popped, but there are 5 heroes there. What else are they going to do? They have to make something happen. It's just sad that there's a lifestealer just staring them in the face, a hero that is impossible for them to jump unless they have a blank dagger on their tide, but it's just not even something that Sunlight's thinking about right now. There's just not enough game to be played for Cringe Crew, and sadly, it looks like 5RAT just having a ball with it. They're just running their opponents down, and now, if they ever try to go bottom like they are, they're walking underneath 5RAT vision, so the Warden, well, he might have a little bit of a long death here, but even Arc, they're getting run down, they're getting sandwiched.
And the Warden's just going to try to push in for the fight anyway, which it's obviously not going to work. He's unbelievably dead, but he's just trying to keep attention off of his teammate. The problem is Moose, well, he carried on with the chase. The arrow will hit in the back. Reincarnation is back up, but now they're going to set up onto him. The Searing Chain's thrown out first. He'll turn around for a stun, but Arc, I don't know. Can you toggle your armlet well enough to stay alive? For now, yes, he can. Okay. Reinforcements arrive. Kits and Moose back away, so keep up your Wraith King, but Reincarnation's put on that cooldown, and well, obviously the Warden had to suicide to make sure that nobody else ends up dying there.
And everybody on 5RAT just walk away. They just walk out. It just continues to be forcing moves that the Cringe Crew even feel like they're maybe a step behind. They're forced to TP to so many of these situations that they would really like to walk to, but there's just simply not enough time. They do have a Ravage up in 10 seconds, so something to play for, but it's tough.
Look at that mid. That's Moose casually attempting the Arrow Starstorm play onto the Morphling. The fact that he feels even the slightest chance that he could get away with a play like that and not get punished immediately kind of says a lot about the lead that 5RAT have right now.
It's like you've got an ungankable lifestealer top, you've got a mid lane blown wide open that only heroes can farm once the wave is past the river, and then you've got a bot lane with a speed with a BKB that is just a no-go zone. Sunlight also almost needs to like bait DNM and just, he's doing it right now. Okay, it worked.
The Ravage actually clips speed as he's TPing in too, so well, that's a hell of a bait. It'll do the job. They take down DNM. Push on this tower is not really going to materialize, but with the way speed's going forward, they want the fight. Kits is coming in. Moose is on the back line as well. They're going to take out Flea first. They find the immediate kill. Now they turn their attention on to the Tide Hunter, or maybe not. Kits? Yeah, he looked like he wanted to try for more, but they will double back, get Sunlight. They drop the Doom on him there at the end, which he had already ravaged.
My keyboard is not working.
Oh well.
Yeah.
They wanted to make sure.
Really didn't want to TP out. Didn't know if Kits had chains as well, because he was going for his own play, so, you know. Could be worse, but it is funny that that's how they killed DNM. The casual, I'm a Tide Hunter, I took my hands off my keyboard and you're hitting me, oh no. The only way that DNM could die, and he bites, you know. It's funny stuff from him, but the rest of the game ain't getting any easier. Now that you're out of Ravage, well, you gotta wait for your Wraith King to have something to play with, because the rest of the lineup isn't really able to do very much here, even though they're running at Kits, but Kits has a defensive remnant if he wanted to go, but he really doesn't care too much.
Just didn't really think anyone was close enough to follow that up, and was correct in that assumption, so now they can maintain their presence in this area, maybe look for a fight. They did hit Flea. Yeah, but the Bramble is going to help out, keeps Kits rooted up, and diving past the tier 2 would be a little bit iffy. He's making his way mid, though. The DNM acted as the bait, but the Cringe Crew doing a better job this time around of not just marching straight into these engagements. They know without the Ravage, it's pretty damn hard to take a fight. But Sunlight gets caught anyway. Macropyre is there. Flea. Gonna throw the Terrorize down, but DNM doesn't care. Pops the Rage, gets the kill anyway. Well, by the time the tide's back up, you will have Ravage again, so there's some good news, but the bad news is while they wait, DNM's just gonna steal pretty much all their farm in this west side jungle. Arrow at least doesn't connect, but in the middle lane, they spotted out Kits. They do manage to take him down. But now how do they get out of here? The Warden is in some trouble. He's going to get hit up first. Is there Doom on speed? Not for 25, so Nico has a chance to escape. Waveforms himself away. Ice Path does clip onto him, but he's a little bit too far out, so instead they shift their focus onto Arc. That's going to be the first life taken down, but now Sunlight's back in, drops the Ravage onto 3. They're going to rapidly turn. AB1 finished off. DNM pops the Rage again, tries to just walk. It looks like he is going to be able to make it out while Moose gets on the back line to snipe out Flea. That should be the end of the fight. Cringe crew do manage to salvage something, but they were so close to getting more. It's a win, but it's not a clean win.
Yep, still feels tough and really nice TPN from Sunlight, just knowing that it's go, go, go time. I need to somehow connect, and they got DNM, it would have been perfect, but sadly not the case. And Kits, okay, yet again, walks in, Moose is right there, helps him kill the Warden, and little does he know he places his Remnant right on top of a Tidehunter, but he will walk away, and we'll have to see, because Kits, the only way he really dies is if he just doesn't go BKB at all, and he's slowing up his build to get this Kai Assange, but that works in its own way as he's going for a kill into Sunlight. Maybe turns over
Arc
to
just
the
got
Wraith King.
doomed.
Yeah, no ulti. Not much you can do about that one. And Flea, are you allowed to walk away? Not if you get arrowed, but even then, it's so much damage.
Flea goes down. Nico is going to be able to find a return kill. He gets Moose, and Moose was on a bit of a streak, so the Morph will grab a little bit of extra gold here, but the push is slowly but surely coming together. Tier 2 tower starting to take some damage, but with Sunlight stepping up in front, they're not going to be able to do much more than that.
Yep, and now we're just waiting for our next kind of set here. Nico is steadily working his way towards the BKB on the Morphling, or rather an Aghanim Scepter on the Morphling, and then once he has that, oh, you become the Lifestealer, and then if any stun lands on him, the negative status resistance could be something scary that DNM has to contend with, but really does feel like, at least for now, they've got to do some desperate things for Cringe Crew, because if they don't make those plays. They love speed, but they don't have Ravage. I don't know what this combination of heroes really does. He could just BKB and leave if he really feels like he's gonna die.
Yep, there's the BKB. His TP's not up for 10 seconds, though, so he just has to try and walk, and Nico used the waveform to get in, I suppose, so he doesn't have it to keep pace, and everything's going to be fine, at least on that side of the map. Down bot, DNM getting close to Arc, but not able to actually make the connection, so Wraith King has an opportunity to slip into the tree line. His TP is down for 30 seconds, though, and his teammate just TP'd onto a tower in front of about 3 heroes, so he is potentially going to get punished here. Do they go all the way in? Well, kind of. Not onto Sunlight. Instead, it's going to be onto Flea. And now the Warden, I gotta give him props for fighting this one out, but this is not going to end the way he wants. The Ravage comes in from Sunlight, though, but for what, really? That I'm not actually sure what play they thought would materialize there, because neither the Warden nor Sunlight had any significant damage to throw out after the Ravage.
Yeah, the play, I think, was to Ravage from the trees and then hope, and Nico, if he doesn't get his TP canceled, okay, does escape top, but I think the play there was to Ravage from the trees and then keep the freezing field going, but then it just ends up being ugly because he gets inside the creep as Arc. Well, all sides, my friend. And there's nothing you can do about that. And that's it.
GG. Yikes. Sunlight is out. He says, get me the hell out of this game.
My keyboard is not working.
And unfortunately, an ending like that is kind of matching the theme that we've seen from Cringe Crew so far. It's just been a lot of frustration and a lot of coming up short.
Yeah, just not the prettiest game. Not the best stuff from them, but 5RAT, they're happy. they are feeling really confident. I think they're 1 win away from being just guaranteed onto the next phase, while Cringe Crew will be our first exitees, which is sad to say, but you know, everything's got to come to an end eventually. And well, we'll see how many of their fellow NA squads join them. Because right now, that bottom three, that of course the schedule isn't completely played out, but the bottom three teams are what looks like it so far. At least 2 of them look to be NA.
Yeah, we got Cringe Crew now pretty solidly in there. Team Dogchamp don't have a win on the board yet, so it's not looking fantastic for them either. At least 5RAT carrying the torch for North America with this 2-0 ET. They are now in sole possession of first place, because I think this win just jumped them over Infinity. So there's a little bit of good news, right? We got some NA representation here near the top, but obviously for Cringe Crew, I'm not really sure how it plays out now. I do want to say the statement that they're eliminated, that's based on my math, which could very obviously be wrong, so we'll wait and see if there's confirmation of that later on down the line, just in case I can't do numbers well. But how do they now approach this? I mean, they got a couple of games left. Do they just show up and try some new things? Do they, I don't know, buckle down, go back to the old meta and see if that works for them? You just get in this weird scenario now. You know you're eliminated. These games aren't going to help you or hurt you in terms of your standing, but it's a matter of how much does the team want to try to continue to improve, even in a situation where they can't win.
Yeah, and I think that's where, funnily enough, their next 2 series are versus the other bottom teams here, versus Infamous and Dogchamp. So even the 2-0s at that point, it only puts people underneath them at that point. And then what I spelled out in the first series, where the top keeps on getting higher and the bottom, they just cannibalize each other. That's what it kind of feels like right now. Even though one of those teams is Infamous, and they surely don't want to go out early here. This would be the earliest I think that org has gone out in a BTS Pro Series since like BTS Pro Series 5, which would be a sad showing for them. But, you know, it's up to them to turn things around. They've got a good few games left in their schedule, but maybe that's where Cringe Crew, their story doesn't end here. Maybe they can play spoiler and, again, drag down everyone with them, because it does look like they are the first team to, not officially, but maybe unofficially, is out here, but maybe that's what they play for. And I think with a player like Red 2 on the team, maybe that's what he's playing for, because, you know, he just wants to get that sweet revenge. Maybe if you're already going out, you're playing with house money, right?
If there is one thing that North American players, fans, us as casters are intimately familiar with, it is playing Dota out of pure spite. That is all Cringe Crew have left, to just try and drag someone else down with them. So we'll see what we get from them. They are in action. That series you mentioned against Infamous is going to be on the docket for tomorrow. We've got Wildcard versus Infinity, Infamous, Cringe Crew, and then Infamous in action again against Dogchamp. So those are your matchups for tomorrow. Going to be starting at 1 p.m. Pacific time for those. We will not be the ones handling that, though. We are passing things off. It should be our Cryptic and Neff handling the next couple of days for you guys. So we'll be back for the end of the group stage, and then obviously into that Phase 3 bracket. But for now, we will be saying goodbye. So ET, you know, we got a couple of days off, and the standings could look wildly different by the time we come back. So before we leave, not thoughts, predictions. How do you think this is going to play out here by the time we come back?
You know, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say Infinity, 5RAT, Wildcard, and Hikori. So you at home, you do the math, you figure out who I left out of there, but maybe that's a hot take. Maybe I'm smoking something, but we'll see. We'll see who's right when we're back here for our final day.
Yeah, as we said, it could look very different by the time we get to that last day. So excited to see what's on the horizon. But for now, we are going to be shutting things down here. So thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the Dota. Come back tomorrow for our Cryptic and Neff. And we will see you later. Enjoy the rest of your night.